Peter Kalmus, climate scientist. Peter Kalmus, born May 9, 1974, is an American scientist and writer based in Altadena, California. He is a data scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory as an associate project scientist at UCLA Joint Institute for Regional Earth System Science and Engineering. In addition to his scientific work, he is the author of the book Being the Change, Live Well and Spark a Climate Revolution. A documentary by the same title complements the book. In addition to authoring articles about climate change, he is the founder of the website NoFlyClimateSky.org and co-founder of the app Earth Hero Climate Change. Education and early career. Kalmus attended Harvard University, where he received his Bachelor of Science in Physics in 1997. At Harvard, he used Fourier transform microwave spectroscopy to discover and categorize the quantum mechanical rotational spectra of several cyanoplions, which were subsequently found in interstellar clouds. He then taught high school physics in Massachusetts and wrote software in New York City. In 2004, he enrolled in graduate school at Columbia University and received his PhD in physics in 2008. His PhD work involves searching for gravitational waves as a member of the LIGO scientific collaboration thesis, gravitational waves associated with soft gamma repeater flares. He continued his work with LIGO as a postdoctoral scholar at the California Institute of Technology, leading major full collaboration searches for gravitational waves from magnetars, gamma-ray bursts, and supernova, and contributing to the precise calibration of the world's gravitational wave observatories. Research. After focusing on LIGO-related work for several years, Kalmus's focus transitioned into earth and climate science. Kalmus's recent research centers on cloud physics, specifically improving basic understanding of marine stratocumulus clouds and severe convective weather such as tornadoes, with the goal of improving predictions of how these phenomena will change as the planet heats, using remote sensing data, in situ data, and models. Marine stratocumulus clouds reflect incoming sunlight, cooling the planet, and are difficult to model accurately in climate models. This makes them a major source of uncertainty in climate projections. A common thread in his research is improving the utility of satellite observations of the Earth. His work on severe weather unlocks the potential of polar orbiting satellites to observe rapidly changing convective environments by using air-parcel trajectory modeling to span the temporal gap between satellite overpass and convective initiation. He has used in situ data from a ship-based campaign to bias-correct the CloudSat warm rain retrieval. He also uses in situ data to validate retrievals from the AIRS instrument and the ACRA satellite. Recently, Kalmus has begun to work in the nascent field of ecological forecasting. He is a principal investigator on a NASA grant to study a projected future of the world's coral reefs with greater accuracy and higher resolution. Coral reefs are rapidly succumbing to ocean heat waves and ocean acidification. He has co-authored over 100 peer-reviewed scientific articles in physics and earth science, with a majority having come from his previous participation in the LIGO collaboration. Activism and public engagement. Kalmus is a science communicator whose efforts center on shifting culture away from fossil fuel acceptability. He tweets as @ClimateHuman and as of April 2022 is the most followed climate scientist on Twitter. He focuses in particular on encouraging the earth science and other academic communities to speak out with greater urgency on the need for climate action. He has been featured in many media outlets, including Mother Jones, PRI The World, CBC Radio, Deutsche Welle, BuzzFeed, The Intercept, and Quartz, and most often speaks to the need for an immediate and massive climate mobilization and how individuals can vote for this mobilization through their actions via both activism and emissions reduction. He frequently speaks to the need for a carbon fee and dividend policy as part of the mobilization, in which fossil fuel becomes increasingly costly as the carbon fee rises every year and 100% of the net revenue is returned equitably to the people, making the policy fiscally progressive. Kalmus lives on approximately 1/10 the fossil fuel of the average American. He says this has made his life more satisfying and meaningful. In 2010, Kalmus realized that flying in planes accounted for roughly of his greenhouse gas emissions, and he has not flown on a plane since 2012. Kalmus believes that anyone can contribute to cultural shift by conspicuously modeling the change that needs to happen. He has stated that by walking the talk his advocacy has become more effective. Kalmus is a columnist and regular contributor at YES magazine. His writing has also appeared in The Guardian, EOS, The Washington Post, and Grist. On September 14, 2019, Kalmus tweeted "Never give up" and referenced his latest article, How to Live with the Climate Crisis Without Becoming a Nihilist. Kalmus has been associated with the Movement for People's Party, a progressive organization positioned as an alternative to the Democratic or Republican Party. After the first presidential debate of the 2020 election, Kalmus participated in a 4-person response to the debate. In latter 2021, Kalmus likened his own experiences pushing for greater recognition of the climate problem with those of the 2 fictional astronomers portrayed in the comedy film Don't Look Up. He also compares absurd events in that film with a series of equally absurd and illusory events in our own world. Kalmus, along with other climate activists, chained himself to the main doors of the Charlotte Douglas International Airport private jet terminal on November 10, 2022. He was charged with trespassing. In December 2022, Kalmus and climate scientist Rose Abramoff briefly showed a banner at the eve of a plenary session of the American Geophysical Union's annual fall meeting with a call for scientists to engage in protest against climate change out of the lab and into the streets. AGU removed their research presentations from the meeting, banned them from participation, launched a misconduct inquiry, and complained to Abramoff's employer, Oak Ridge National Laboratory. Kalmus and Abramoff further claimed that the AGU threatened to have them arrested if they returned to the meeting. Abramoff was subsequently fired by Oak Ridge. In January 2023, 1,500 scientists signed an appeal to object to what happened to their colleagues. JP Morgan Chase building arrest. On April 6, 2022, Kalmus was arrested, along with a physicist, engineer, and a science teacher, for chaining himself to the door of the JP Morgan Chase building in Los Angeles, protesting the bank's investments in new fossil fuel projects. Writing in The Guardian in April 2022, Kalmus advocated civil disobedience following the release of the final IPCC Working Group Roman 3 report. In the article, Kalmus says, "It's now the 11th hour and I feel terrified for my kids and terrified for humanity, but I'll keep fighting as hard as I can for this earth, no matter how bad it gets, because it can always get worse." Flying Less Movement. Kalmus is the founder of the website NoFlyKilometersky.org and a leading voice in the #Flying Less movement. He is pushing for the American Geophysical Union to support Earth scientists who choose to fly less out of climate concerns, with remote participation options at conferences. School strike for climate. Kalmus was a lead organizer on 2 letters written in support of school striking youth, one from US Earth scientists and one from international scholars. His 2 sons have been regularly school striking on Fridays since 2018 as part of the Fridays for Future movement. Earth Hero. To help users track carbon emissions, Kalmus co-founded the smartphone app Earth Hero. It aims to help users reduce their emissions, shift culture with their reductions, and engage in other forms of climate activism such as protest and civil disobedience. Awards and recognition. Kalmus has won numerous awards both for his science and activism. He received the NASA Early Career Achievement Medal and 3 Jet Propulsion Laboratory Voyager Awards for his work in earth science. He is also a recipient of the inaugural Transition US Walking the Talk Award. He is a 2018 GRIST 50 Fellow, one of the 10 2018 Fellows classified as visionaries. His book, Being the Change, Live Well and Spark a Climate Revolution, won an EPI Outstanding Book of the Year Award, the Nautilus Book Award, and the Forward Indies Book Award.